through the left side, base hit! Downing is in to score, and DVC walk it off!
Chest high step, he looks down the middle of the field, he's gonna throw the goal route, has a man in the middle, intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline, he steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand, Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counterattack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California. Welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White, to coverage of women's soccer and the regular season finale today on DVC Vikings Live Radio. I'm your host and commentator, Joe Hickey, and the Vikings have Big 8 placing to battle for in the last match of the season for the first time since this tournament began in 2021 as they take on Modesto Junior College in the 5th place game. How did they get here? Well, by rebounding from last Friday's hard-fought defeat in Rockland with an even grittier match against defending Big 8 tournament champion Cosumnes River in the consolation semifinal. DVC held the forts for 90 minutes of shutout defense, the season's 5th clean sheet for Denise Correa. And then in the shootout, it was 4-4 after the standard 5 rounds had been completed. Denise Correa recording a save, but also proving to be the only Viking to miss from the dot. In the 7th round, CRC's taker missed and upstepped Maila Hicks.
I'm so proud of you!
We are going to show that to you one more time later on today because you were supposed to get a look at Maila actually making the kick. Something went a little funky here in the attempt to show it to you, but it's all good. You get a look here at what the Vikings accomplished that day. And it had been a solid 6 weeks that we've been waiting for DVC to put something together concrete like that in the course of or to get something concrete out of the improvement that we've seen in their composure and their tenacity. And you can see without doubt in that video what this meant to them. And before you go dismissing CRC's effort because it was a consolation final, bear in mind NorCal playoff seeding is still up for grabs. And that shootout loss most likely cost CRC a bye through to the 2nd round. Now, speaking of playoffs, Tuesday's result has kept the Vikings' slim hopes of playoff qualification alive. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, at JoeHickey77, by the way, you might be saying to yourself, but Joe, you said it was over. To which I say, what are you talking about? That post hasn't existed for at least the last 17 hours. Well, unbeknownst to almost everyone in the program, the 3C2A expanded their playoff field for NorCal back to the 24 teams that made it in 2022 and up from the 18 that had made it every other year since 2018, including last season. As it turns out, we're going to direct our attention here to a graphic to show you exactly what we're discussing. There is a look at the NorCal playoff scenario for DVC. They would pick up the 24 seed. They are currently 27th with a win today against Modesto, a Chabot win at Evergreen Valley, those 2 games kicking off at the same time, and one of 2 things. Either Reedley taking an expected loss to Fresno in their 3 p.m. game, and Clovis failing to beat Sequoias. That game kicked off at 2 o'clock and is reaching halftime now. No updates just yet. Or Clovis just outright losing to Sequoias no matter what Reedley do. Any of that would put DVC into the postseason yet again. So on the real fun actually is who could be waiting there in a first-round game next Wednesday. Number 24 would play number 9, and the 3 most likely schools to occupy that spot are the Delta team that DVC drew with in October, the CRC team they just overcame on PKs, and the Modesto team they're about to take on in mere minutes. On the other side of this break, we're going to have lineups and kickoff of that pivotal game, the 5th-place game in the 2024 Big 8 tournament on DVC Vikings Live Radio. Stick around.
I try not to
All right, folks, it is a short break here. We are ready for action. The teams have splayed out onto the field, and let's give you a quick look here at the starting lineups for today's important match. For DVC, one big absence, and that is Cristabel Rodas on bereavement. Our thoughts go out to the Rodas family for the loss of Cristabel's grandfather. Taking her place on the field and taking on the captain's armband from Casey Trujillo is Sofia Lopez Real. We expect to see her in that standard left back position that Cristabel has occupied with Mila Ninkovic, Maila Hicks, and Ella DeChoco in that back four. We are underway in this very moment here from Modesto, California, and it's DVC possessing, attacking from left to right in the home whites. Carol Esquivias immediately trying to field a ball out in front of Corinne Jones, the 26. Vikings in the home white over black and white socks. Modesto also black shorts, blue shirts, and blue socks, as this one is kicked out just across the midfield stripe for a throw. And immediately we can tell you it's Sofia Lopez Real in the right back position, Mila Ninkovic over at left. Of course, Hicks and DeChoco in the center, as they have been for most of the Big 8 calendar. And the throw-in is up the left sideline looking for Logan Meyer, a surprise starter. And she slides the ball in towards the edge of the 18, picked up by Ella DeChoco, who got a touch to it and prevented the Modesto forward from latching on. Clearance handled by Diana Ruiz. Just behind the midfield stripe, it is Trujillo and Singh up top for the green and white. Miyazaki, Ruiz, Esquivias, and Rosemont, your midfield. Early days here as DVC look to weather the initial storm. Modesto coming in to play today with a record of 14-6-1, 3-4-1 in the Big 8. Of course, they are here because they had the same trajectory the Vikings did, falling to Santa Rosa in the first round game and then beating American River in the consolation semifinal. They did theirs in regulation for that 14th win. Trujillo launching a ball forward, or rather dropping back from Miyazaki, who launches it forward for Suhani Singh, cleared away by the Modesto defense into their player bench. For Modesto, a little something on the line as well. The 8th seed, which gets you a bye into the second round of the tournament. You would not have to play again until next Saturday, and then you would play at home. That is on the line right now for Modesto. They currently sit very tightly bunched with CRC and Delta in the 8, 9, 10 spots. Modesto starts the day in 10th as the ball's worked back to the Viking defense and towards Rosemont. CRC leads that pack, but they are playing Sacramento City today because of having lost the consolation semifinal to DVC on penalties. And so they will, for sure, drop below Modesto if the Pirates claim victory today in regulation. Vikings in possession, but Trujillo has wrong-footed Singh. Knocked it back behind her as Singh cut her run centrally, and Trujillo wanted her to go out a little wide to the right. Vikings recover the clearance, though. It's Miyazaki at the midfield stripe. Cutting inside, dropping back now for Ella DeChoco. DeChoco, a little bit of pressure coming from the 23, Bella Rodriguez. Haven't yet figured out who is starting in place of the expected, or rather who Logan Meyer is starting in place of, out of that originally expected starting lineup. She is up top with Shea Roy Williams, who is listed as a forward, but I hear Roy Williams, I think safety. I also think Cowboys. Sofia Lopez Real receives a ball here and does well to work with Rosemont to control an attempt at a Modesto break. Forward now, Maila Hicks. Working off the shoulder of a Modesto player and now has it stamped by the arrival of the 26, Corinne Jones. Stepping up as Rosemont, punches that towards the right flank. Ruiz trying to hold it back there against the 13, Orozco. Leaves us now for the 18, Ariana Diaz, and that is taken away from her by Esquivias. Up toward the right side. Controlled by Rosemont. Esquivias now back on it. Tries to loop one forward in the direction of Trujillo and Singh. Took a deflection. Casey tracks back and recovers it. Miyazaki. Nice little bit of vision to put it to the left side. Little room there for Ruiz to get to. Still about 30 yards from goal. Drop back for Miyazaki. A little bit errant, but Vikings right there to cover. Ninkovic tries to put that into the center for Rosemont. That's cut off there by Meyer. So far, I think it might be Gudino who's not starting. It's Roy Williams right now off to a runner up the left side. Maila Hicks tracking back. One-on-one with Denise. And it's a goal very, very early in this one in minute number 4. Except... no, that is indeed the case. I heard the weird whistle. I thought for a second perhaps we were going to have that one pulled back. But it is Shea Roy Williams scoring here in minute number 4. And Modesto strike first blood here in their home field. Bit of a rough run up the left side. We get an immediate sense of the speed of the 27, Shea Roy Williams. That her 11th goal of the season. She's had braces against Lemoore and Skyline. That one, though, a big deal for her. She had just a single goal and assist since that October 11th game against DVC. Has not had the same joy in conference play that she had in pre-conference. Did have an assist on one of those early tallies that the Green and White gave up against the Pirates in that first meeting. If you don't recall, it was a pair of goals inside the opening 15 minutes, but then DVC struck back Sofia Lopez-Real, the one who scored that goal on a delightful back and forth. It was Rodas with the cross in from the left side and a knockdown by the hold-up forward, Alina Rodriguez in that case. And Sofia deposited it home. She'll be part of the Vikings looking for a response. They've yet to score in this Big 8 tournament. They fell 2-0 on Friday to Sierra, but right now it's Suhani Singh pushing up the right side, cleaned up by the 13 Orozco, but that's going to be, out for a goal kick. Apparently got that to stamp against Suhani. Starting to mention, though, the basic situation for Modesto today is that if they win and Delta fall in the Big 8 championship match against Folsom Lake in regulation, that doesn't kick off till 6 p.m. If those two things come to pass, barring the West Valley Skyline game producing a winner, Modesto would leap into the 8th seed. I believe they would probably get hopped by either the West Valley Vikings or the Skyline Trojans in the event that there is a winner in that game. Slide tackle by Rosemont here is going to hold the ball for the Vikings. Had a ton of English on it, and Roy Williams unable to keep it in play. For Delta, meanwhile, that'll be their third appearance in the final in 4 seasons that we've had of this Big 8 tournament. Throw in knocked down by Corinne Jones, but immediately back out for another Viking throw. Lopez Real runs up. That one met with the head of Jones, and now Lopez Real getting in front of Roy Williams. Dumps the ball to the right side. Cleared off of Esquivias. Stays here in the attacking zone for a moment. Modesto looking to escape. Roy Williams. Couple good one-touch passes here to try and work their way through, but Esquivias steps in, takes it away. An 80 by 120 field here that has often favored the conditioning and the speed of the athletes that Coach Steve Aristoteles brings to Modesto. 80 and 120, by the way, both of those numbers substantially higher than the temperature as we get started here. 58 degrees and dropping at kickoff. Free kick given here for the first foul of today's match. That one going against the Pirates. So far, one shot on goal and 1 foul for the Pirates. The Vikings yet to put anything in any of those columns of the score sheet. Ball work to the back line. Tatiana Orozco moving there. Or correction, that would be Sienna Jones, rather, the 12, not the 13. Her long ball, knocked down here by Rosemont. Now tries to put it up the left wing, but nobody running into that space. Hit a little too hard. It does appear it's going to stay in play, though. Forces Sienna Jones to play it. She and Corinne appear to be the right back and left back, respectively, in Coach Steve Aristoteles' formation. Here's a clearance, immediately put back in towards Suhani Singh on the left side. She goes into battle with Orozco, drops it back for Diana Ruiz. Tries to cut that through, rather Trujillo. Tries to cut that through the arrival of a defender. Now drops it back. Here comes a rip from distance from Sierra Rosemont, and that one's handled with the feet of the starting keeper, McKenna Zuniga. Evens up the shots and shots on goal tally here, and she gives it right back to Rosemont as the drop kick falls to the chest of the lean mean 13 in green. A ping-pong back and forth in the midfield here. Finally falls to the feet of Lindsay Rose. Tries for a long drive to the left side, knocked down by the chest of Carla Esquivias and right back to Jones. Now puts this to the left side here for Corinne. Rose for Corinne Jones. Over to the left side for Shayla Roy Williams. Cross from the left corner flag is headed away and met by Diana Ruiz. Good work there to take that away. Earns DVC a goal kick as she stamps it off of the Modesto attacker. And we'll take a moment to hear a little bit about what Coach Mullins had to say about Diana Ruiz, the Vikings' source of constant energy.
She's just a little Energizer bunny out there. She works and she covers a lot of ground. She's really great at taking feedback and implementing it. We had I can't remember if it was an individual meeting or just a chat after training. We were talking about her trying to be a little bit more involved in goal scoring and working on long range shots, or, just finding ways to get a little bit more involved in the attack rather than her just finding people, but her being somebody that the defense has to worry about as well. And, the next game, she's like getting shots on goal and, just clearly took the note and was right away trying to apply it. And, that seems like an obvious thing, but it's amazing to me how many players can't make that connection between feedback that they're given and actually making a change in how they play. And she's one of these kids that I think will develop quite a bit in the off season because she wants to learn and grow and get better.
Vikings in possession right now as we come back live. It's Sierra Rosemont. DVC, in the time we were not connected, had a quick little scare as a ball was floated off the ensuing goal kick. It was reflected by Modesto back in towards their attacking line, but found the number 22, Logan Meyer, offside. DVC graced by the flag of William Franklin over at the far sideline, or excuse me, rather Randy Borland over at that sideline. William Franklin here at our sideline, the spectator sideline today. Your center official, Edson Angeles. Right now it's Roy Williams on it, a bit of shifty dribbling to work her way through Carlasquivias, now trying to dust Sofia Lopez Real. That is a speed-on-speed battle. She's able to direct her into the center towards DeChoco. Got a brief touch to it. Roy Williams back on it here, about 30 yards from goal, trying to thread one in for Meyer, but now decides on the pass to Rose. Here's a cross, meets the head of Meyer, directed wide of the cage. And that'll end that attack right there. 11.5 minutes gone. Modesto leading 1-0 on the goal in minute number 4 off the boot of Shea Roy Williams. As we told you for DVC today, name of the game is, first and foremost, you got to win. Secondly, you're taking a look down the road at Clovis facing off with Sequoias as this ball is claimed by Roy Williams, who has been the undenied star for the first 12 minutes of today's encounter. Already with the goal and a lot of speed to burn. But for the Vikings, you're looking a little bit down the road, Clovis and Sequoias. You need the crush not to win today. And if they do manage a draw, you need Reedley to lose to Fresno. That probably should happen. Here comes a crossover from the left side. This one towards the top of the 18. Kneed away by Ninkovic, claimed there by the 23, Rodriguez. Out wide right side, good body-on-body challenge between Ninkovic and the 6, Annika Rose. It seems like in both cases where there are two players with the same name, one's on the right, one's on the left, two of them in the defense, the Joneses, Sienna and Corinne. Same deal seems to be the case with the Roses, Lindsay and Annika. Throw in from the right side, far sideline from our point of view, to the body of Logan Meyer, tries to step around one defender, nears the byline, directed into the path of Maila Hicks. Her clearance knocked down with the chest of Miyazaki. Forward to Singh, does well to use the body and protect against the arrival of a Modesto player. Now looking to speed her way through. Casey Trujillo making an interesting run. That one's fed to the right side. Casey has 2 on her now. Forced into retro. Drop back to Sofia. Lopez Real battling here and losing out to the strength of Tatiana Orozco. Finds Shea Roy Williams. That one cut off by Sierra Rosemont. Important tackle there, as we've seen what the 27 in blue can do when she's got the ball at her feet. Ball forward for Carlasquivias. Uses the speed to get to it and now knocks it by the arrival of the left back. Here she goes into the right wing. Orozco will clean that up, but it's out for a Viking throw in the attacking third. Can hear a presence of some DVC faithful here behind me, hopefully coming through my mic. And to the rest of you down in the Pleasant Hill, Concord area. Throw in will be taken in a moment here by Sofia Lopez Real. Put into the body of Suhani Singh. Leaves that for Carlasquivias. Chance to put it across. This is going to be met with the knee of a Modesto player in the center. Orozco, I believe. Too long of a first touch by Roy Williams as she tries to claim it, and Sofia Lopez Real will take over. Well done by Rosemont to keep it right there. Trying to step through a few players is Ella DeChoco. Got through two, looking for a third. Now she fires, takes a deflection. Doesn't have enough English on it to carry past the keeper. And that'll be an easy pickup there for Zuniga. Zuniga today, with her 11th start of the season, she has given up 11 goals for a 1.08 goals against average. She and Sarina Jaime have by and large alternated starts, and most times we've seen one of them in goal in the first half and the other in the second half. We'll see if that pans out today. Here's another opportunity for Modesto, and they will spring Roy Williams, but this time Denise Correa alert to it, and she comes out to claim at the right side of her box. Correa launches this one deep, nicely handled by Sierra Rosemont on one touch, leaves that for Cuddle. Bit of a rough first touch for her, but Sofia there to cover. Lopez Real tries to step through the arrival of Lindsay Rose. Nothing doing, though. Corinne Jones forward on a diagonal towards the center. Knocked away and brought down by Ariana Diaz. Her ball, a long, tall parabola. Knocked down by Rosemont. DVC continuing to battle for it. It's going to be Mila Ninkovic playing a little out of position at left back. Although she's been somewhat out of position all season. Expected, I think, to play a little more in the midfield, but she has been a hard-nosed defender. It's Catalesquivias on the ball right now on the right side. Working towards the right, finds Trujillo. Casey drives this one towards the box, popped up from just in front of Suhani Singh. Clearance is only as far as Catalesquivias, but touched away by the arrival of a Modesto player. Modesto looking to escape out the right side. Ball driven deep by the 20, Samantha Vallon. Brought down by Meyer. Manages to work her way through Ninkovic. Ella DeChoco, the one to slide tackle it away. Worked back now to Annika Rose over the right side and finds a player offside. And a good chance as any to talk a little bit about the defensive line DVC have trotted out since about 20 minutes into the first game of Big 8 play.
I think that whole back four, they just they work really well together, and that's what a back four has to do. They have to be on the same page. They have to stay connected. The four of them are very conscientious people, and so it kind of goes into how they play too. So they're aware of what's happening around them, and so yeah, it just creates a greater consistency back there and a greater kind of reliability on where people are going to be. They've done a great job of pressure cover balance, just the team defending concepts. They've conceded, or made mistakes, I should say, very rarely. Usually if one of them is beaten individually 1v1, there's usually the next level is just right there. And then the next level, I can't tell you how many times, Mila from the weak side has come across and saved us, or the reverse with Christabel. It's like, what are you even doing there? But they just read the game well, and they're, like I said, conscientious about doing their jobs and doing them to the best of their abilities.
And the Vikings defense, we've seen a little bit of that already here today with Mila Ninkovic and Ella DeChoco and Maila Hicks directing attackers into each other's paths. Here's a tough one, though, here, as it's going to be Roy Williams again, but Correa out to claim it. Ball through the channel, had gotten past or into that space between DeChoco and Lopez Real, but good work there by Denise. Her instincts developing by the moment. We'll hear a little bit as well from Coach Mullins about Correa and just the find that it has been having her as the Vikings backstop. In the meanwhile, first substitution of the day, and it's Callista Rubel in for Miki Miyazaki that appears it's going to pull Trujillo back into the midfield. Ball over to the right side here. Logan Meyer trying to direct it to someone in the corner. Cross comes in. Two DVC players working to it. And we've got a flag up at the sideline, I believe, for a foul to the detriment of Mila Ninkovic, and perhaps to get attention for a potential head injury. She is presently on her haunches with her head down on the ground, rising back up, and a call for the training staff. We'll take a moment to hear a little bit about Mila Ninkovic's journey here with the green and white and what she has brought to this locker room and to this defense.
Mila, Mila, I think, has been our comic relief, maybe is a good way to put it. But the other day, she just, we didn't have, Wood typically has done the end of the practice cheer, end of the game cheer. And then when Wood's absence, it's Sierra. And there was a day we didn't have either of them. And I think it kind of fell upon Suhani. And she's like, what do we say? And Mila's like, why don't we try the same thing that we say every day? And so just like, it's just, that's just so typical Mila, where it's just, she just states the obvious and just kind of makes everybody laugh. Certainly her personality has been a great addition to the team, in addition to her just tenacity as a soccer player. She has been one tough-nosed defender, even though that hasn't been her position that she's necessarily played growing up, but just has the qualities of being kind of relentless and very tough-natured, and has done a great job as an outside back for us this season.
Mila Ninkovic back to her feet and on her way to the bench. We'll see what the substitution ends up being as a result of that. Waiting to spot us. Lina Rodriguez back in. I think Rubel's going to go back into the defense. It was a foul against Mila, so it's a free kick off the restart. Popped up in the air. Logan Meyer fires through a forest of legs. Comes back to Roy Williams after it's blocked. And it's going to be floated to the right side here by Lindsay Rose. Held in play by the 23 Rodriguez. Squared up right now. Meyer looking for another opportunity. She has to backtrack to the edge of the 18. Here's a shot from distance, and it's Corinne Jones scoring from the edge of the half moon, and Modesto have made it 2. Unfortunate moment there. DVC just trying desperately to clear their lines on that one. They managed to block a handful of opportunities. But for Jones, that is her first goal of the season. And a big moment for it here as well, as we mentioned, a lot on the line potentially here for Modesto Junior College in this matchup. An opportunity to potentially book their ticket to a bye through the opening round of the NorCal playoffs. Now it's Roy Williams again on the restart. Here comes a cross in towards the edge of the 18. Shoots right by DeChoco and Rodriguez, the two 23s inside. Modesto able to claim the clearance. Pirates with 3 shots, 2 of them on frame, both of those in the back of the nets. 1 foul apiece. DVC with 1 shot on goal. That off the boot of Sierra Rosemont from about 40 yards. Vikings with some work to do here. The most success that any team's had early against DVC in this tournament. Vikings had pitched a pair of first-half shutouts. Today, on the other hand, halfway through the first half, and Modesto lead by a pair. Corinne Jones, scorer of the recent goal, working her way and puts a absolute forearm through the back of Diana Ruiz. That'll be a foul. Free kick from inside the center circle as we reach the exact halfway point of first half action. Callista Rubel stands over it. She has been pulled back into the defense in the absence of Mila Ninkovic. DVC with a short bench to start with today. Just Walden, Rodriguez, and Rubel, 2 of them already into the game. Rubel came in to spell Miyazaki and allow Trujillo to come back into the midfield, and then immediately was pulled back into the defense as Rodriguez adopts the forward position. Ball dropped back to Callista, working her way forward against Meyer, and now she's going to take a rip from distance. That one short skips on the keeper, but she's able to keep it in front of her. Zuniga does well to make her second save. Both of them have been shots from about 35 to 40 yards from very central. That one a hair more dangerous than the one off the foot of Rosemont earlier. Goal kick comes to Rosemont on a hop. Looped forward, and it's going to be Ruiz, and now Esquivia settling forward, looking for the run of Singh. Cut out. Off to the left side, looking again for a run for Roy Williams. It's going to be Lopez Real in retro. Maila Hicks cleaning it up, and we'll have the day's first corner kick here in minute number 24. It's going to be Lindsay Rose, it would appear, the freshman midfielder out of Sierra High. Has started practically every game this season and scored against the DVC Vikings back on October 11th. had 2 assists Tuesday in the victory over American River. She puts this one into the mixer right now, headed home. And don't look now, it's Corinne Jones turning into a goal-scoring menace. She's got 2 after going the entire season without one. And it's 3-0 here in favor of the Pirates. With that, it would appear we're going to see a rash of substitutions from Coach Steve Aristoteles. I see 3 of them lined up, ready to go.
Great job, girls.
Roy Williams, the goal in the 4th minute. Corinne Jones, a pair in minutes number 21 and 25. The Vikings, to this point, I think one of the more interesting stats that I've cobbled together regarding them has been their ability to improve game on game, but also season on season. They have, this year, their record looks very similar, but one of the things they've done is put together a decent number more draws than they had last year. As a result, fewer losses. And the interesting thing to me is that they played 15 of the 17 adversaries they faced off with in 2023. 8 of those, not a surprise, your conference, but also faced off with 7 of the same adversaries from non-conference play. And in 15 of those rematches from 2023, they improved their scoreline. Either more competitive, even if in defeat. A couple cases of turning losses into draws against Kenyatta, against Butte, against Delta, who beat them 7-0 last year. Held to a scoreless draw in Pleasant Hill. Beat Sac City, who they drew with last year. And the interesting thing was that theme had continued through the Big 8 tournament. They held Sierra scoreless for longer and lost by 1 fewer goal in the first round game. And, of course, turned that 4-0 drubbing they took in Elk Grove into a 0 draw and a penalty shootout win, what is likely to be the final major highlight of the season unless something crazy happens here. Another ball in to the mixer. This one knocked down and hit away. It was another ball in from Lindsay Rose on the second Modesto corner kick. Catalesquivias, a big knock-on in the midfield, trying to find some space, but it's knocked down. Orozco, Corinne Jones, the newly inserted substitute Lighthall, working now with Rose, who skips her way by Esquivias, puts in a cross from the left side, met with the head of Rubel, still rattling around, and now cleared a bit more authoritatively by Trujillo, held in about 35 yards from goal, though, by Alexis Lopez, put on the left boot of a Modesto player, worked over to the byline, and will find an offside Lindsay Rose. Correa about to put the ball back into play here off the goal kick, knocked down by Catalesquivias. Has Lopez Real showing for it, but drops back, now loops it forward in the direction of Suhani Singh, tried to touch that through Orozco. Lurking, though, is the center back Jones. Or correction, might be Sienna Jones over there. Corinne Jones, ball forward here into the path of Isabella Gudino. Out comes Correa and manages to get enough of a touch to it. May have stamped that against Gudino. No, it stays in play at the byline. Gudino crossing back in, bit of a scorpion kick in the center of the box. But Correa came way out, good 3 or 4 yards outside the 18 to close that down, and she now feeds Rubel with the hands. Scorpion kick came, by the way, off the foot of Chloe Silva in the center of the 18 for Modesto's 5th shot of the day and 4th on goal. First one saved by Correa. And Denise has been, as we said, a bit of a find here. The Vikings unable to recruit a goalkeeper in the off-season. Long ball is knocked down by the DVC defense. I think that might be Mila Ninkovic back in. Indeed appears to be, and the Vikings win the ball back. Esquivias trying to work her way through the center. Turns it over, though, at the back of the center circle. Gets stuck back in here, though, against 2 Modesto players. Gets enough of the ball and allows the Vikings to take it away. Forward for DeChoco, who can't quite hold it. Ella now playing in the front of the midfield, so DVC with some tactical switches. We'll let you know exactly what those are as they develop a little further. But it appears to be Hicks and Rubel in the center of the defense, and now Lopez Real and Ninkovic bracketing it with Mila back into the game. DeChoco now your attacking mid, and it's going to be ball forward here looking for Alina from Cuddle. Cleared away. Held in by Lighthall. Tries to touch that through to Choco. Up comes her opposing 17, Esquivias. Pokes that ball out. It'll be a throw in for Modesto here with about a quarter of an hour left, and we'll hear a little bit about the found money that was Denise Correa this season.
I had an inkling that she had experience, or at least, some experience. I didn't think she had much experience, and was probably our best choice of the options that we had. But I had no idea just how kind of natural she is with it. Her positioning is excellent. Her decision-making has been excellent. It's been a saving grace of the team this season, and she has just come up with some incredible saves, just very unexpected, and not just kind of lucky saves or anything like that, just quality positioning, just the level, the quality has been unexpected. Knew that she was going to be the best person for the situation, but she's definitely exceeded expectations.
That was very nearly the commentator's curse to end all commentators' curses as Modesto got free. It appeared to be, I believe, Bella Rodriguez, the 23, who fired from the left side of the box, looped it over Correa, but luckily for the Vikings, it hit the crossbar and went back over the goal line. Goal kick, no harm, no foul, but you probably heard the whoa from the crowd in my microphone. Here's Annalise Lighthall claiming the ball after the goal kick. She fires from just a little behind the half moon, wide of Correa's goal. 7th Modesto shot, 4 of them on goal, 1 of them quite literally on the frame of the goal, 3 of them in the back of the net. Corinne Jones in the 20th, or 21st and the 25th rather. Roy Williams the opener in the 4th. DVC with some work to do if they're going to keep themselves alive in this playoff race up through 5 p.m. Foul absorbed by Casey Trujillo. Free kick taken here, and Callista Rubel, nice one-touch stuff there, but Singh is going to have to go into retrograde. Now a ball launched through the channel. Esquivias trying to leak out behind Adamari Ron, but it's going to be a little bit too long for Cuddle to get onto. Now over the back line, goal kick. So your midfield at the moment, Rosemont, Trujillo, and DeChoco, along with Miki Miyazaki, as she takes off a Vikings player. That's your midfield behind Singh and Rodriguez. Midfield consists of Ninkovic and Lopez Real, bracketing Rubel and Maila Hicks. Of course, Rubel and Hicks, a pair of freshmen. We look forward to seeing their development next season when the green and white are in action in 2025. Here's a ball taken away by Sofia Lopez Real, who scored here back on the 11th of October. Unable to work her way through the defensive line, but the clearance is only as far as Rosemont at the front of the center circle. Forward now for Rodriguez, tries to get herself turned. Alina drops back to Trujillo, now looking for the long ball over the top for Miyazaki, but well watched by Ron and over the back line. Alina has a skill set that Coach Mullins in particular has been excited about. We were hoping to see her deploy it right there. We'll let Colleen tell you a little bit about it.
One of the things that I love about Alina is she has a desire to dribble at defenders, which is it's what we've been spending our last couple days on, is trying to get players to dribble at defenders. And so she's got a desire and a willingness to do that. And then it's just a matter of, okay, well, how can we turn that into goal scoring, And so that's going to be her work in the off season, is working on her finishing, getting her a little bit more deceptive and unpredictable with her dribbling, a little bit more, direct and leading to scoring opportunities than just kind of dribbling for the sake of dribbling kind of a thing. But that kind of instinct to want to dribble at defenders is exciting to me, and because that's not something that is easily teachable. And so a player that kind of has that naturally, it reduces a lot of the challenges that you have as a coach in trying to get somebody to have the confidence to do that.
In the meanwhile here, Modesto College with a blocked shot from the right side of the box that has led to corner kick number 3 on shot number 8. DVC so far with just 2 shots, both of them on frame, but both relatively comfortable saves for McKenna Zuniga. This one is low from the right side. First corner they've had from there. Knocked down, held in, and shot by the 24, Gudino. Cleared now by DVC. Suhani Singh trying to hold it and work her way over the left side as she approaches midfield. Suhani off to a gallop. Alexis Lopez trying to close her down and does force her to come to a stop. Look to drop that back to the arriving Ninkovic. Nothing doing. Or rather, perhaps Ruiz. Ball's cleared and knocked down by Callista Rubel. Ninkovic across the back to Lopez Real. Outside back to outside back. Sofia rocking the captain's armband today as Casey Trujillo has taken over the honor of bestowing it, with Lily Underwood unable to travel with the team. I'm relatively sure in the immediate aftermath of a ACL reconstruction that 90 minutes each way in a van is probably not recommended. But we hope you're listening in, Lily, as your teammates, it would appear, take the field one last time. NorCal playoffs appear to be just about done and dusted unless DVC mount an absolutely remarkable comeback. And don't get me wrong, I'm here for it. But if this is the end, don't cry because it's over, smile because it's happened. It was a really fun team. Probably didn't get quite the results they deserved over the course of the season as the ball's tipped away and over the back line by Modesto. A goal kick to come here in a moment. But it's been a good-natured group. They've been through a lot together. We look forward to seeing what's coming next year, and we hope that in these last 50-odd minutes that we have together, can put a little something together and scream like lunatics about it. Ball to the body of Sierra Rosemont, over the top towards Alina Rodriguez. Brought that down with her shoulder, unable to find it after the initial deflection. Two DVC players step, though, to the ball forward, and we've got a foul whistled. It's going to go against Modesto, and DVC will take over with a free kick. 4-1 the current foul count in quote-unquote favor of the Pirates. Long ball driven towards the head of Alina Rodriguez. She was able to bring it down, but has it immediately taken away by Modesto. The clearance only as far as Rosemont inside the center circle. Finds Miyazaki, scoops this one forward in the direction of Singh. That was an interesting little ball. Reflected by Modesto. Rosemont. Left side, Trujillo gets herself turned, working her way towards the center on a diagonal. Now she takes a rip from distance, but that'll be wide of the goal. First Viking shot that has not found the target. With that whistle, a substitution to come here with a little under 8 minutes to go in first half action. It'll be Annika Rose coming off for the Pirates. Modesto at the moment with Adamari Ron here at the right sideline. The 16, Alexis Lopez, appears to be the other, or rather Corinne Jones, rather, the center back with her. Alexis Lopez appears to be your defensive mid. Little tough to tell you the rest of the lineup. Modesto with only numbers on the back of their jerseys as this one goes out underneath the watchful eye of Sierra Rosemont. Throw in to come here for the green and white. We mentioned before that DVC had an unsettling tendency to give up goals at the very, very end of halves. It'd be nice to see them pick one of those up for themselves here in the late going. They've managed to resist it the last two matches. Got all the way to nearly the hour mark scoreless in Rockland against the #1 team all season in the Big 8, although they, of course, fell to defeat in the semifinals. Both they and Santa Rosa falling, and Folsom Lake laid the wood on the Santa Rosa Bear Cubs. That was a little unexpected how badly they lost that one as the ball's over the back line. It'll be a goal kick here for Modesto. A 6-0 victory for Folsom Lake, a bit closer in Rockland between Delta and Sierra, leading to tonight's Folsom Lake San Joaquin Delta Championship match, starting up at 6 o'clock up in Folsom. I believe they have video for that, and it ought to be a pyrotechnic affair. About 6 minutes to go as the ball's put back into play here by the keeper Zuniga. On the foot at the moment of Ron. Back and forth with her center defensive mid, and she's unable to hold on to that at the sideline, and Vikings want to restart quick. This one over the shoulder of Miyazaki by Sofia Lopez Real. hit away by the arrival of Orozco. Throw in to come here for the green and white. Throw in hit by Rosemont back towards the right flank, but a little off target. Miyazaki not able to claim, and it'll be a throw in now for the Pirates. This throw in claimed for a moment by DeChoco. Racing in was Gudino. Manages to hold that for the Pirates. Silva looking to run onto one up the right side. Nothing doing. The ball off the foot of Alexis Lopez. Trujillo now over to the left side for Alina. Alina faces up the defender for a moment. Now tries to push it forward for Trujillo. Blocked by the Pirates. Oh, nice little bit of work there by Chloe Silva to step around a defender and now launches it over the right wing. Looking for a run that does not quite materialize from the number 4, Lola Facha. Throwing up the left side here as Ninkovic tries to play in Trujillo. Knocked back into the defense, Maila Hicks. Forward for Miyazaki, her first touch a little loose. Ron gets onto it. Miyazaki tries to step in close. And now a ball launched on a diagonal, trying to find a runner out of the midfield. Out comes Correa, and she will claim that with Ninkovic and Rubel in cover. So far, it's been speed in the opening moments and set pieces that have been the difference in today's game. Modesto scoring twice through Corinne Jones off of set pieces. The first one, a free kick that may as well have been a corner from the the right side. Vikings cleared their lines twice but couldn't get it completely out, and Jones fired it home to the far post from the half moon. The second one, just an easy-as-you-like header at the near post on a corner kick from the left. The opener coming courtesy of a burst of pace from Shea Roy Williams. And that's what's got us right now at 3-0. The ball looped over to the right side, knocked down nicely by Miyazaki. Gets onto it. Oh, needed to get that off her foot towards Singh. Suhani had a step on her defender, but nothing doing there. Got a little stuck for Miyazaki, but the first touch was golden. Clearance brought down by Ninkovic. Works her way to the left side. Defended there by... not quite sure who. I can't make out the number from all the way over here. 80 yards is a long way. Bit of a shove in the back on Trujillo, but nothing given here by Edson Angeles, the center official. Silva forward to the right flank. Foot race there between Facha and Rubel, and it'll be Callista who wins it. Up ahead, Trujillo. Knocked back for Rosemont. To the back of the center circle for Casey. Oh, captain, my captain. Putting the ball to the right side here for Suhani. Cut off nicely by the step of the center back. Worked forward in the direction of Sofia Lopez Real by Orozco. She and Lighthall getting into a battle here. Sofia claims it. Forward here for Singh. Drop back to Miyazaki. Does well to avoid the on-rushing Lopez. Forward for Rodriguez. Turns her run in centrally. Tries to find Ella DeChoco, who goes body on body with Orozco. But the 13 in blue able to clear it away. The ball held in play at the far sideline. Drop back for Silva, but a little loose. Trujillo got a touch to it, and another one again. And now Rosemont trying to hold it under the arrival of Silva. Our clock comes to a stop on DVC Vikings Live. The one here at the field got off to its start about 30 seconds late. It's still showing 2:16, but we're going to agree with each other in about 15 seconds. Trujillo, forward from the left center side of the center stripe. Rodriguez does well in hold up, now leaves it for Rosemont, spins away from the arrival of Silva. Up the left wing for Ninkovic. Can she get there before it goes out of play? Slide challenge necessary by the 20 Valen. That's out for a Viking throw. Modesto's clock not coming to a stop. It continues to tick, and that's going to let me tell you that we're actually now at about 1:10 to go. Of course, we did have the stoppage for the injury to Mila Ninkovic. That the only one I can recall, though, over the course of this first half, so there shouldn't be a whole lot from Mr. Angeles. Good battle developing over on the left side here. DVC take a ball away. Here comes Rodriguez, crossing in, blocked by Modesto, and cleared away. Ninkovic will hold it in. Mila tees this one up, tries to drive it to the right side. We'll see if Suhani can keep it in play. She will, goes all the way through the box. Singh back on it. Suhani on her left, blocked by the Modesto defender on that side. Drop back now in the direction of Rosemont, got there late, and that's going to be a foul. We'll see if it's any more. Sliding challenge, but it goes unsanctioned otherwise.
Way to be there, Sierra.
Free kick here on the second Viking foul. Taken and immediately reflected. Now possessed here at the left side of the center stripe. That clock on the scoreboard has come to an end, or to a stop rather, at 47 seconds, but I believe that means we're right at 45 level. And so we'll see how much gets added on by Edson Angeles. Whistle in his hand at the moment as Sofia Lopez Real prepares a throw-in. Up the left sideline, held in play by Lopez. Looped forward by Ron. Rosemont claims it. Miyazaki takes it off her foot for a moment here. Miyazaki spins, fires it up the field. Here's Singh, looking to potentially feed Rosemont, but couldn't quite get enough of it. Orozco intercepts, brings it forward now for the 24, Gudino. Ball rattling around, and look out here, it's come loose for Mia Peterson. Peterson slides it to the left side for Lighthall. Over on the left. Out comes Lopez Real. Lighthall, the cross in towards the dot. Met on the fly by Trujillo. Cleared away, and now it's Rosemont coming back to it. She clears it out this far sideline. Throw in Modesto. No indication yet of how soon we might be done here in first half action. A signal here, William Franklin kind enough to signal the 2 minutes that were added on. That seems about right for the Ninkovic injury earlier. Ball looped over the left side in search of the 24, Gudino, trying to work her way to the byline against DVC's 24, Maila Hicks, last touched by the woman in white. It'll be the fourth Modesto corner. 8-3 the shot count in favor of the Pirates, 4-2 in shots on goal. Zuniga with 2 saves, Correa with 1. 4-2 the foul count, 4-0 the corner count, 3-0 the count that matters. That's the one on the board. Goals from Roy Williams and a brace from Corinne Jones, her first 2 collegiate goals for the defender out of Manteca. Here comes the ball in, near the head of the number 3, Peterson, unable to get anything on it, and coming away with the ball here is DVC. Ninkovic steps around the arrival of one defender. Second one cleans things up here, and Modesto claim it, and that is going to be all she wrote for half number 1. So we see there the goals from Roy Williams and Corinne Jones that have staked Modesto to a 3-0 lead at halftime. Lots of work for DVC to do if they're going to make things interesting on this playoff race. We'll be right back in about 15 minutes for one last time here on DVC Vikings Live Radio. At least in the regular season, we turn to the beat of Diablo, local music from Concord, Rock City. We'll see you in 15.
This is Dave Hughes, and you're listening to select cuts from my weekly show, The Beat of Diablo, here on DVC Vikings Live Halftime. If you want to hear more local music, tune in this Sunday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. to Concord's iconic student-built 90.5 KVHS, Concord Rock City.
You the moment has come. Time to lean in. Just kill me while you love me, because I'm yours until the end. Yours till the end. Yours until the end. Yours until the end. 'Cause I'm yours until the end. Yours till the end. Lake Mississippi, headed for Nashville, Tennessee. Two kids, their guitars, and an old Chevy. Played every dive bar in Dixie Lane. Honky tonk mama and her guitar man. We were sleeping in the backseat of your car. You said live simple and dream hard. Keep your eye on the prize. Our love is ride or die. Well, is it too late for us to make it? If we try too hard, can we break it? With you by my side, I'd be willing to fake it. Oh, I'll sing it one more time under the ballroom lights, dreaming that we'll make it. I said, baby, I'm tired and I wanna go home. You said, come on, baby, I can't do this alone. I ain't never been known for lying. The only way to fail is to quit trying. Well, is this about us or is this about you? Finishing what you started out to do. How do you know when it's time to let go? Turn around, get a straight job and go home. Well, is it too late for us to make it? If we try too hard, can we break it? With you by my side, I'd be willing to fake it. Oh, I'll sing it one more time under the ballroom lights, dreaming that we'll make it. They say some folks have it and some folks don't. And if you don't already have it, then you won't. But you were born with everything God had to give, babe. Don't apologize to me, ain't nothing to forgive. And when you want to smash your guitar on stage, and you ain't got a damn thing left to say, your pocket's empty and your Levi's cold. tonight. But if you close your eyes, is it good enough for you? So be careful what you speak, 'cause it will be used against you. No matter what you plead, no matter what you try to believe, I guarantee your words belong to me. 'Cause no, there are no secrets here, yet still they slip through the cracks into all those suspected ears. So if you don't know what's at stake now, speak only what is written to the living here on Tavern Lake. This is the risk you chose, and it's clear to me. If you're the one who knows and you haven't already told, then at least I can rest easy. You can rest in peace. 'Cause no, there are no secrets here, yet still they slip through the cracks into all those suspected ears. So if you don't know what's at stake now, speak only what is written to the living here. Let it all out as you fall into your knees. 'Cause if it's worth the crime, then it's worth the casualties. And if you're gonna bother, then to hell with all the foresight. 'Cause the slip of the pen and your tongue and the neck would end it all tonight. Well, I suppose I could let you go, but no. No, there are no secrets here, yet still they slip through the cracks into all those suspected ears. So if you don't know what's at stake now, no, if you don't know what's at stake now, there's nothing left that you can say now. There's only what is written for the living here on Tavern Lake.
Welcome back, folks. The halftime break nearing its end here from Modesto Junior College. Sorry to the Helltones there. We had to cut things a little bit short as the referees are already back out on the pitch. The team's in their pregame huddles, and we're going to take a moment to take a whack at showing you properly the moment, the big moment from 3 days ago. We took a stab at it during the introduction, and we missed one of the best parts of it, which is Maila Hicks nailing the kick. So enjoy.
Go, go, go. Go. I'm so proud of you. Woo! Oh my God.
I think that is going to be an enduring image of the season for most of us. A really just lovely moment for the team. As we said, a club that has just been suffering a little bit from just not getting that big moment. A lot of hard work. They had the draw against Delta, which they felt pretty good about. They got the win against Sacramento City, but some really impressive work they did in the first halves of games against the likes of, I mean, for that matter, starting with Modesto back when they fell down 2-0 early and then managed to hold that game right there, pick up a goal about at the half-hour mark. They did some really phenomenal work there. The defense has really come around. It's just a gauntlet of a conference, if we're being perfectly frank about it. And so, tough to get things going. DVC are going to need to get a little something going. We told you what the situation was in terms of the playoff picture back when we came on air. We'll remind you of it right now. The Vikings have to win this game, and they've got to do it in regulation. So it's going to take 4 goals in 45 minutes. Do they have it in them? That's why we watch. We'll find out. Meanwhile, still waiting for a result from Clovis. If they lost to Sequoias, it would be DVC needing to do this and get a victory from Chabot down in Hayward. No result yet noted from that either. If Clovis do manage a draw, they'll need Reedley to not, be beaten by Fresno today. As we said, that more or less expected given the quality of the two sides. But we'll find out how that goes. Of course, Modesto Junior College, we mentioned, presently battling as well for an opportunity to host, and for that matter to skip the first round entirely with a victory here today. We're back underway, second half, 3-0, DVC, a lot of work to do. Modesto in a situation as we got an injury right off the opening kickoff. Ball popped up in the air and we had a head-on-head clash. It's the number 5, Lindsay Rose for Modesto, did not get a good look at who went down for the Vikings. DVC had to deal without Ninkovic for a little while early in the half, but Mila did come back on. She starts the half on the left side for the Vikings. Sofia Lopez-Real on the right side of the defense. Rubel and Hicks back. DeChoco has been playing as an attacking mid as DVC try to get a little bit more edge. It appears to be Suhani Singh that went down under that challenge. Suhani, 19-year-old sophomore psychology major from Northgate, 11 goals on the season, the vast majority of them coming in the early part of the year. 10 of them in September, 1 of them since, although the Vikings as a whole haven't been able to taste the sweet nectar of the goal all that often in the time since then. We'll take a moment here while they tend to Suhani to kick off our Around the Horn coverage, and the first bit of news we have is very good and very much hot off the presses. As DVC water polo, the men have won their quarterfinal in the Northern California tournament after finishing 3rd in the Big 8 tournament, and they did so by dispatching the same team that they beat in that 3rd place game, albeit by a couple fewer goals. But earlier today, 17-15 the scoreline in that matchup. They've earned themselves a semifinal date tomorrow morning and extended their season by a day. DVC's water polo women also sprang a quarterfinal upset in the Big 8 tournament. They fell in the 3rd place game in overtime to ARC. Same way they got through Modesto in the quarterfinal in overtime, although a couple fewer overtimes. This morning they fall to Delta 14-7. Their season comes to a close, but some real excitement there as they brought a hosted Big 8 tournament to life. We're back in action here from Modesto after a roughly 2-minute stoppage. We'll take note of that. Vikings spray a ball out to the right side, but it's out for a throw-in at the far sideline. So men's water polo will play in a semifinal tomorrow. That's going to be a big deal because if they do win it, they extend their season by a week because that would book them a ticket to the Final Four, as it's just the 2 teams that make the final in Northern California that go to face off with their SoCal rivals. Here's Sofia Lopez-Real claiming a ball at the right side. Centrally for Miyazaki. Now scoops this over the top, trying to feed the overlap continuing of Lopez-Real. Cleared up there, though, by Modesto Junior College. Sierra Rosemont takes it off the foot of the 5, Annika Rose. Correction, Lindsay Rose. Ball battled for at the far sideline and out for another Modesto throw here. 3 minutes gone in second half action. The Pirates on top on a Corinne Jones brace and an early tally from Shayroy Williams. You'd say one of those, the very first one, by the most likely suspect, 10 goals on the season to lead the team. The other, the least likely suspect, Corinne Jones, two goals just today, her first ever as a collegiate player. And she liked it so much after she got the first one that she did another one 4 minutes later. First one on a long-distance shot, the other one a point-blank header, both of them off of set pieces, one off a free kick, the other off a corner. Ball over in the right corner, and it's claimed by Modesto over on the right side. Logan Meyer tries to square that one up for Roy Williams. Good work there to cross over and pull back, for that matter, by Sierra Rosemont. She takes it away and dribbles it all the way to her own byline. Up the left side, but unable to find Ninkovic. Give DVC a chance to escape. So along with water polo trying to extend their season on the men's side and the women finishing up today, it looks like DVC's season likely will be over today here in soccer. Volleyball finishes off their season on the road at Rockland tonight at 6 p.m. and football finishes their regular season against City College of San Francisco in the Jimmy Collins Derby tomorrow at 1. Corner kick earned here right off of the throw-in by Modesto Junior College. That'll be their 5th of the day. But it's not all about endings. This weekend, we've also got the first home game for women's hoops. They'll be taking on Cabrillo tomorrow at 3 p.m. That to be followed by a men's game against West Hills Coalinga. Women looking for their first victory of the season. Men trying to get right after falling last night to San Jose City at home. Corner kick to be taken from the right side by Lindsay Rose. Finds the head again of Corinne Jones, but this time Correa is wise to it. Hadn't scored a goal all season and is now hunting a hat trick. You got to be kidding me. Throw out the scouting report completely on this one. Callista Rubel battling with Roy Williams in the DVC defense. Tries to drop it back. Little dangerous there as Logan Meyer was lurking. Cleared by Maila Hicks. We showed you the moment earlier there. Coach Mullins and I both utterly delighted for Maila, somebody who's worked so hard to get the moment she had. Here's Logan Meyer going for the near post as she was running on the right side at the top of the box. Hit it with the left foot, couldn't quite get it squared up. But as we said, Maila, a big moment for her, and Coach Mullins had a few words to say about how great that was for somebody who has taken her job so seriously this year.
Tough moment in Santa Rosa, and poor kid was just devastated and distraught, and because again, she's a conscientious kid. She wants to she doesn't want to disappoint people, and so yeah, to have that moment where she gets to kind of shine in a really tough, it's a difficult situation as a freshman to walk into and just take it like a champ, and all the kickers, man, they took some good PKs, and Maila was one of them for sure.
Modesto on the attack, but their shot from about 20 yards away blocked by the DVC defense, and now holding on to a ball at the right side is Ruiz. Forward now for Alina. Touches that through one defender, or rather that was the 23 to Choco who touched it through the defender. Alina nearly coming up to take advantage of the loose ball that resulted from it. DVC close it up at the far sideline just in front of their player bench. Miyazaki on it after some good hard work by Lopez Real. Trying to go up the sideline, that one into the player bench. Throw in taken to the head of Lopez Real as Modesto earned themselves about 20 yards up that left sideline. Another one up the sideline, again headed out by Lopez Real, and Modesto just matriculating the ball up the field this way. Again, for reasons I don't understand, it appears that Modesto's stadium clock is a good 25 seconds behind mine. It's a ball brought in from the left wing. Not even the wing, really. Left side of the midfield on a hard diagonal towards the penalty dot. Roy Williams was nearby. Correa claims it. Denise, 2 stops today as the ball's battled for at the midfield stripe. And look out, here comes Carla Esquivias. Heads it forward, touches that through one defender, and just barely wrong foots Rodriguez, but absorbs contact. It'll be the 5th Modesto foul and a DVC free kick in just a moment here. No word just yet on the game from Clovis. As we mentioned before, we need the Crush to not win that game for the Vikings to have any chance. Of course, we also mentioned they need 4 goals in the next 37 minutes for that to happen. Rosemont will launch this one, and that is headed towards the keeper and right into her breadbasket. 3rd Viking shot on goal. That one a free kick from roughly 30 yards, pushed a little bit left of the center line. And I believe that is Sarina Jaime, now in the number 0, still in the seafoam green kit that we saw Zuniga in earlier. This has been the way of it for Coach Aristoteles. Here's a nice little ball from DeChoco to find Ruiz. Ruiz slides that over towards the half moon in search of Rodriguez. Nothing doing, though. Cut out by Modesto. Roy Williams gets to the clearance. Touches that through the arrival of Rosemont after dribbling centrally. Miyazaki was lurking, but it carries all the way to the left sideline, and now a ball up the left wing looking for Logan Meyer. She's off to a gallop. Maila Hicks chasing. Here comes Meyer. Reaches the byline, cuts it onto her right, now tries to square this up for the arrival of Bella Rodriguez, cleared by DVC. Miyazaki claims, looks to get something started here. Rodriguez. Here comes Alina. Centrally looking for DeChoco or Ruiz. Cut off. Now the ball at the center stripe. Working her way on a diagonal to the right side is Bella Rodriguez. Clearance coming in our direction. That is going to hit the camera, I think. Nope, it's going to go right under me. I think it's the first time I've become part of the action all season. Used to be a regular occurrence. I used to station myself on the player bench for all intents and purposes, just a little bit off to the left. Every now and again I'd help with a throw-in. That one, off the boot of Callista Rubel, sought out my left shin without me having to move a muscle. If she was trying to play me on, that's really impressive. DVC claim a ball at the back of the defense. Sierra Rosemont on it after that throw-in. Ball worked forward here from Miyazaki. Tries to touch it into the center to run onto. Corinne Jones cleans it up, and here goes Lindsay Rose up the left wing, looking for the run of the number 2, Renteria. She'll get to it just before the byline. Nice shifty run, touches it around a defender, but that one ends up out the back. Goal kick, DVC. Well, one of the things that I started hearing from folks here is apparently, according to the coaching staff, there are people who have asked to actually see what I look like when I'm getting nervous or freaking out or any of those things I do on a live stream. So in a moment here, we're going to give you a little of that as a shot is taken off the left foot of Lindsay Rose. But we went ahead and set this up this time. So hi, folks. I'm going to go ahead and put this here where you can see me for the rest of this, and we'll see if it was worth it. Got the sun setting behind us here in the pines. I think they're pines. No, it's more oaks. I don't know. I don't know trees. Do we have anybody here on the team in horticulture? Don't think so. We'll see what we can find. At any rate, DVC claim a ball here, and it's Sierra Rosemont up the right wing in search of DeChoco. That one's going to be potentially a little long, but it is cleaned up by Orozco, forced to claim it. Works the ball forward. Miyazaki knocks it down. Alina. Centered for Ruiz. Miyazaki, Ruiz. Ball drop back now to Rosemont. Loses out there, a little bit of a loose touch, claimed by Rodriguez. I was about to say Ruiz, Rodriguez, and Miyazaki. Get used to hearing that. That is probably the center of your 2025 attack. Here's a ball forward just under the foot of Logan Meyer. Cleared away by Callista Rubel. It'll be a throw-in from the far left side. Need to get the sun just a little bit out of here so it doesn't look quite so funky, but all good. Throw-in to be taken from the attacking third on the left side. Drop back here to the 5, Rose. She takes a rip from distance. That is not going to have the requisite curl to trouble Denise Correa at all. It's over the back line, and we'll continue with our work here on Around the Horn coverage and tell you a little bit about cross country. And congratulations to Alan Solari and Alana Sevier, who have both earned all region honors at the NorCal Championships. DVC women, in fact, placed 6th in the region as a team. Solari, of course, your Big 8 champion. Sevier, all Big 8 first team as well. And they, along with several of their teammates, will be racing next Saturday in Fresno. One of the few teams that knows for sure that their season doesn't end this weekend for DVC Athletics. Here's a ball off the free kick, knocked down. Here comes Modesto up the gut, but Callista Rubel will resist. Sierra Rosemont has it. Here comes another shot from distance, top right corner, just barely off target. 11 shots now here for the Modesto Pirates, 5 of them on frame, 3 of them in the back of the net, and we're going to have a substitution. Corinne Jones, the woman with the brace, coming off. And for those that aren't hip to the soccer lingo, I don't mean she's wearing anything on her leg, I mean she's got 2 goals. For the Vikings at the moment, Ninkovic, Rubel, Hicks, and Lopez Real your defense, Esquivias, Rosemont, Miyazaki, and Ruiz your midfield. Up front, Rodriguez and DeChoco, with Trujillo currently off the pitch along with Singh. Bit of a different look here for DVC. DeChoco has been such a soldier this season as the goal kick is briefly claimed by Logan Meyer. Lopez Real able to get to the loose touch from the 22 in blue and played it off of her out for a Viking throw in the defensive third. But DeChoco in particular missed those first 3 weeks, targeting CSU Fremont, somebody who'd had some time with Carol Esquivias back in club ball and was one of the originators of the Winter Workout Club. She has been doing everything asked of her, expected to play attacking mid this season, but was repurposed as a center back in the game against American River and has locked down that position beautifully ever since. Had one of the moments of the year, to be perfectly honest, on that slide tackle she had in the game against Santa Rosa that brought the Vikings to life late in a game that they were struggling in. Alex Laubin in particular loved every last bit of that challenge. Speaking of challenges, sliding attempt by Rosemont to keep the ball for DVC. Unfortunately hoofs it to another Modesto Pirate. Now it's Rubel taking one away in the defense. Forward for DeChoco. Center line. Dribbling out a little bit to the left, now trying to loop this forward for either Esquivias or Rosemont, who has now come all the way forward. Interesting. Ball forward here in the direction of Meyer, but way too heavy off the foot of the 5, Lindsay Rose. Miyazaki steps up into the midfield to try and keep the ball there. Now it's looped over to the left side. Running onto that is the 2, Renteria. Stepping to it is Sofia Lopez Real, Renteria. Central now for Rose. Cleared away from her foot, and here's DeChoco with a little bit of space. 2 defenders behind her, and a run developing from Alina Rodriguez. Manages to stay on the ball for a moment, looking for somebody to feed. Now launches this to the right side. That'll be met with the head of the 15 Adamari Ron. Kept in, though, here. Sierra Rosemont takes it away from Rose. Rosemont on Rose crime. Ball to the left side, looking for Carol Esquivias. Looks to make life difficult for Samantha Valen. Ball played out. It'll be DVC ball here on the left side. First legitimate attack here for the Vikings as we try to keep you from just absorbing exclusively sunlight in the Joe Cam. Substitution here for DVC in the meanwhile. Casey Trujillo back in. And Alina Rodriguez will take the long walk from the byline around to her bench. DeChoco fed with the ball here at the corner flag, tries to get that on her left and hook it into a dangerous area, but can't quite wrap her foot around it. That'll be over the back line, a goal kick to come here in just a moment. And a moment here to have a look at a few other things going on in DVC athletics. The other team who's relatively sure their season doesn't end this week is DVC football. They're 5-4. They will finish at worst with a 500 record after tomorrow's game against City College of San Francisco at 1 p.m. Likely to make a bowl that way. They are ranked 20th at the moment in the JCAB poll, looking to cinch up a winning record both in conference and overall for the season when they take on the Rams, and that game a little personal for Jimmy Collins. Ball up the left wing right now. It's Logan Meyer with Maila Hicks all over her. Forced to drop it back. Good work by Hicks. Left here for the 5. It's going to be Lindsay Rose looking for a cross in and Correa right to it. No problems. But last Friday on sophomore night, DVC given Laney College the business as they dominated the Eagles. The big thing I wanted to point out is the outrushing of them by 298 to 53. That's eye-popping enough, but take a good look at the stats for Newton and for the delightfully named Ferrari Miller. Both of them had individual runs as the ball's going to fish Logan Meyer from an offside position, flag up on this side from William Franklin. Both of them had individual touchdown runs that were longer than the entire total for Laney College in that game. Quite something there, a 54-yarder among Ferrari's 3 scoring runs, and Isaiah Newton pairing that 82-yard scamper with 184 yards passing and 1 touchdown through the air. So you should be able to watch them this weekend against CCSF. And then we fully expect to see them in a bowl game, perhaps at DVC, perhaps on the road. Here's Modesto coming the other way. Ball forward, Correa out to claim, Ninkovic to protect. And immediately on the ground towards Callista Rubel. Ball forward, oh, that's beautifully stopped by Ella DeChoco. Has a player coming up from behind her. I think it's Shea Roy Williams, but she steps around her. Now puts it up the left side for Esquivias. Might be a little too close to Orozco. She'll play that out from in front of Esquivias. A throw in to come here for the green and white. Substitution time, 1 aside. I believe it'll be Suhani Singh coming in after the blow to the head at the beginning of the half. She takes off Diana Ruiz. So likely Singh and Trujillo back at the top of the attack. Of course, those two got off to a rampant start at the beginning of the season. Singh with 3 goals against Tianza, 4 against Woodland. Trujillo with goals in both of those games. One of them an expert job of dribbling to create space. The other one a patented right-footed banger from the top of the box. Speaking of somebody capable of bangers, Callista Rubel takes the ball away and wins the challenge against Roy Williams. Now tries to cut around a defender. Roy Williams does well to get back in there, but the ball comes free to DeChoco. Poked forward toward the left side of the box. It'll be Valen on it. Forced to play that out near the spectators. Good pressure there from Singh, and she receives the throw-in from Ninkovic. Pops it up with the first touch. Looks to step around Valen. Back over to the left side. Esquivias into the 18, knocked down by Trujillo. Forced in retro. Now a little behind the half moon. Now tries to loop that for the run of Miyazaki. That was a nice idea. Met with the head of a Modesto defender and partially cleared. Ninkovic finds Singh, looking to turn. Can't quite get turned quickly enough. And now dumps that into no man's land, cleared by Valen. Hicks gets a touch to it at the center stripe. Rubel. Callista forward here in the direction of Esquivias on the left side.
Be ready, babe.
Ball forward in the direction of Trujillo. Cut off in the center. Back to Valen. Her clearance off the body of Esquivias. It'll be a throw in from the defensive third and more subs. It's going to be Logan Meyer coming off for Steve Aristoteles and the Pirates. We'll see who comes in her stead. As I mentioned, the Modesto jerseys, no numbers on the front, just MJC. Looks like there are 2 subs. Roy Williams also leaving the match. And so a retread of the front line. We'll see who they are once they deign to turn their backs to me. Throw in from Samantha Valen. One of them is the 17, Annalise Lighthall on the right side. The other is the 11, Isabella Zara, seeing her first action of the match to my memory. Ball worked out to the left side, and it's going to be Renteria taking it down, now getting forced out wide left, and good work by Sofia Lopez Real to take the ball away here as we approach the halfway point of this half. Lopez Real losing out at the byline. Renteria drops it back to a teammate. Central and a collision as the ball's batted away here, or cleared away rather, by Rosemont. Ending up on the ground was the newly inserted Zara. Right at the edge of the 18, we all held our breaths for a moment, waiting for a potential point that never came. Continue to keep an eye on the out-of-town scoreboard, although it's getting less and less meaningful by the moment. Clovis and Sequoia is still yet to go, well, it's gone final, but it's yet to post at this point. Throw in here for the green and white. Taking up the right sideline, drop back for Miyazaki. Mickey has had a bright start to this second half, been very involved in this midfield. Chloe Silva received the ball here at the near sideline. Looped forward in the direction of Lighthall. Rubel seems to have that tracked. Lighthall trying to run right up her back, and it's going to get by everybody but Maila Hicks with the coverage. Oh, my word. Looked like Denise Correa and Callista Rubel had made a hash of that, but Hicks to the rescue. You heard Colleen Mullins talk about it before, and here's a ball forward for Trujillo. Looks to touch that through the arrival of Orozco. Running down by the byline, it's out for a corner kick, first of the day for the green and white. Vikings turning desperate defense into interesting offense in the blink of an eye. That ball over the top was just the right length where Correa couldn't quite decide whether to come out. Rubel was trying to track, but Lighthall was crawling right up her back. And it wound up looking like Lighthall had gotten through both of them with the ball at her feet, and then Hicks, out of nowhere, cleans it up. Corner kick to come from the right side. Esquivias dropping this one in near the penalty dot, headed away by the defender at the near post. Lopez Real holds it for the Vikings. Trujillo back out to Esquivias, deemed to be returning from an offside position. I don't love that call, but it's probably right. I will put my trust in Randy Borland over at that far sideline. And the Vikings' opportunity comes to an end there. Ball up the right side here. Modesto in possession just behind the center stripe, but Miki Miyazaki again stepping through and taking a ball away. Rosemont on it, looking for someone to feed. Forward for Esquivias with the outside of her boot, holds it at the front of the center circle. Out wide right, nobody really running into that space. Miyazaki tried to clean it up. Cleared though, and we've heard a lot about Miyazaki over the course of the beginning of this first half. And with the ball out of play, we'll let Coach Mullins tell you a little bit about what she's brought to this team and what we can look forward to going forward.
Mickey has just been a bright light. Again, kind of another unexpected. She was somewhat, reserved and I think still figuring out the culture and the language and all that this past spring. And I could tell that she was a skillful player, and it seemed like a light switch flipped with her a few weeks into the season, where she just, I think her fitness kind of came along, which I think made a big difference for her. And it really allowed her abilities, her vision of the field, and then the execution of the skill that I could see that she had. But I think it all kind of came together. The package came together. Again, when she got injured and we didn't have her, it was noticeable. And us being able to build through the midfield, and she's clever with the ball, with her passing, and so yeah, she's been invaluable to us in being able to generate some offense during the season.
In the time while we heard a little bit about Mickey, she very nearly picked out Suhani Singh over the top, but found her in an offside position. DVC right now possessing in their defense. Ninkovic under a little bit of pressure. Finds Sierra Rosemont from the back of the center circle, out wide to the aforediscussed Miki Miyazaki. Over the top looking for Suhani Singh. Tried to turn and run for it. Tatiana Orozco got ahead to it. DeChoco brings it down, not quite able to settle though. Ball claimed here by Zara and taken away by Esquivias, who's been busy today. One touch from Singh, trying to feed Esquivias up the left side, and Orozco will clean it up. Throw in to come here from the left. Throw in comes to DeChoco, not quite able to settle it. Knocked away by Ariana Diaz, and she finds a player leaking out the left side. Is Renteria again. And doing battle with Sofia Lopez Real. And this is a tough one. Sofia goes in for the slide, gets all ball. The ball out for a throw in. That one had to be right, given where Sofia came from. Anything a little bit off, and she was at least going to see a card of some color or another. Throw in to come from the left side, about 10 yards shy of the corner flag for the Modesto Pirates. This one's going to find the run of Renteria, steps inside a defender, comes in, and Correa with the stop. We heard about her earlier as Modesto put their 6th shot on frame, 3rd one stopped by Correa. She has been a good stopper. She's been instinctive. She's generally done pretty well to avoid moments like the one that we had a little bit earlier where she and Rubel had the coming together. About the only foot I can remember her putting wrong was the one that snuck by her in the late going of the first half against Folsom. Otherwise, you wouldn't look at her and say that it was an attacking mid back in June. She awaits the corner kick from the left, 6th of the game for Modesto. That one's headed across the 6-yard box, and no one quite gets a touch to it for the Pirates. Ninkovic will clear it up the left side. Racing to try to keep it in play for DVC is Singh, but Valen will get there first. Drop back to the 13, Orozco. With the ball in the defensive third here for a moment. For Modesto, we'll tell you a little bit about DVC volleyball. As we mentioned, they're closing up their schedule tonight at 6 p.m. in Rockland. They finished these last 2 games here, their sophomore night and their second to last road match with some real competitive fire. They picked up their 2nd win of the conference season on sophomore night, behind, as always, some stellar work from Nadia Novichkova, 3rd most assists per set in the Big 8, and she's top 20 in the state, had 37 of them in that match to go along with 15 digs. Good work as well from Beldunka to keep possessions alive, and by Walker and Sotirova to finish them off, Daniela Walker and Catherine Sotirova. And even against Folsom Lake, they were very competitive. It might be 3-0 there, but take a look at the scores from the first two sets. Both of them went the distance and then some. Here's a ball, interestingly, to the right side here. Miyazaki just barely beaten by the arrival of Lindsay Rose on a diagonal from Ella DeChoco. Stellar ball there from the 23 in white. Ball over the top here. It's going to be Rubel closing up the arrival of Annalise Lighthall. But good work there from Jackie Ponciano Babs women. They've been a much more competitive program this last year than we'd seen for a little while, and it's been exciting to witness that growth. Ball forward towards Singh. Tried to knock it back for Rubel, but Callista was already off to the races there. Callista, of course, with her first goal of the season coming against Sacramento City. That one a delightful moment. Did it in front of her old Benicia-based coach, Alex Laban, who enjoyed every moment of it. Modesto taking a ball over here and looped to the left side, knocked down from in front of Renteria by Sofia. Ball cleared away here as we enter the final quarter of an hour of action of this 2024 campaign. A fleet of substitutions to come here, and we were just talking a little bit about Callista. Let's hear a little bit about her, courtesy of Coach Colleen Mullins.
She obviously started the season off great and unfortunately had the concussion, and I think that's maybe just been a lingering thing for her that has been problematic, and it's just a matter of her regaining her confidence and kind of love of the game back. It's hard to do that in a season. You know, it's really hard when you have an injury, especially an type of injury that she's dealt with a number of times in the past. You know, it's and as a coaching staff, like, we're always just kind of like trying to get the whole group ready for the next game. It's really a difficult time to work on the individual stuff. Callista has so many qualities to be an elite level player, and my hope and my expectation is she's gonna start to figure that out for herself and be able to put some work in the spring, and really come back a different player next fall.
And we saw little flashes of that over the course of the start of this season. That assist against Chabot, a real tantalizing taste of what Callista may be in 2025. Today, looking to put a little something together here, perhaps get one last scream. And here's a bit of good work by Trujillo to hold a ball. Now finds Miyazaki. Working to the right side for Casey. Hannah Walden just into the game as a sub, lining up in the 18-yard box, but the pass is going to be back behind her and the rest of the Vikings that were flooding in there at the top of the 18. Cleared away and out. It'll be a DVC throw-in, though, from about 40 yards away from the byline. Trujillo tries to touch this around the arrival of the 12, Sienna Jones. Had that for a moment. We've got a foul whistled. It's going to go against Casey. Free kick to come here. Just the third foul whistled against the Vikings today, against 5 by the Pirates. Sofia Lopez Real able to, no, doesn't quite earn DVC a throw. She was locked in battle with Renteria, just a little shy of the midfield stripe. Last touched by Sofia as it rattled between the two of them. Hannah Walden, freshman out of Northgate, has battled injury over the course of the season, but somebody who was particularly selfless in the early going, served in that goalkeeper role despite it being something that she had no intention, I'm going to imagine, of doing when the season started, but there was a chunk of time, 4 games out of 5 that were missed by Denise Correa. Here's a ball forward here to Miki Miyazaki as DVC win it in the defense. Miki trying to feed Hannah. Cut off there, however, by the 13 Orozco, who has played imperiously there at the back of Steve Aristoteles' defense. Ball out the back line. It'll be a goal kick with about 12 minutes, 11 and a half here to go in our action. As we mentioned, not just endings right now in DVC athletics. We do additionally have a few teams getting off to their start of their season. Men's basketball in Around the Horn coverage picked up their first win of the season against Marin. DVC on the attack for a moment here, although just as I say it, Trujillo dispossessed by the 16 Alexis Lopez. Loose ball, though, in the midfield. Stepping up is Lopez Real, finds Sierra Rosemont. Sierra steps around one defender, dribbles in towards the center. DeChoco calling for it. Just does miss her a little bit there. Valen able to clear. Held by Sienna Jones and now pushed forward for Zara. Steps around Callista Rubel. Has Renteria again trying to get off to a run. Mishandled by Sofia Lopez Real. Here comes Renteria again. Out comes Denise Correa. What a stop. Lays out, makes herself huge. She's going to have to do it again, but this time it's a domesticated one. Very, very simple compared to the first. 2 shots on goal, 2 big saves by Big D. Goodness gracious, Denise. Ball forward looking for Hannah Walden. She looks to get off to a run. That'll be cleaned up, though, by Sienna Jones. Ball cleared up on the right side here. It's going to stay in play. Knocked down by the 4 Facha. The claim now by Carol Esquivias as the light gets a little lower around here. Drop back towards DeChoco, and up steps Rosemont to keep it for the green and white. Esquivias steps around one defender. Now drops back for Sierra, who I'm delighted to be able to call by her first name now that we're not playing a college that's got that same name. Ball forward, took a deflection, but Esquivias has it. Works towards the left side, delightful little turn. Drops it back for DeChoco, unable to get to it. Here comes Sofia Lopez Real, edge of the 18. She fires from distance, just barely wide. Good looking attempt there from Sofia. That's the kind of shot from distance you've absolutely got to take. But not quite able to find the target there, and with the goal kick and substitutions coming, we'll return to our wrap on basketball. Men's hoops with a 77-65 win behind 20 points and 8 boards off the bench from Kennedy Rusvidzo. We'll see if they decide to continue to use him as an energy sub or if he earns himself a starting nod or two there. Vikings doing all the hustle things to get extra possessions in that game, out-stealing Marin by 9 and out-rebounding them by 9. They'll be hosting a doubleheader after taking a defeat to San Jose City last night. That gets started at 3 p.m. tomorrow, with the women taking on Cabrillo. And then it'll be the men against West Hills Coalinga in the nightcap. Miki Miyazaki trying to defend the ball at the center stripe. Does nicely to do so against the challenge of Carly Silva. And continues to hold it. Turns to the right, then to the left while I put my head down to find out who 19 was. Forward here for DeChoco. DeChoco dribbles around a defender to the left side, working on Sienna Jones. Has that cleaned up as she was guided into the airspace of the right back. Throw in to come here for DVC from the attacking third. Women, by the way, have also gotten their season off to a start. 0-3 so far after losing to a couple of playoff teams last weekend down in Hayward and falling to Merritt. Long ball from the left side, knocked down by Miyazaki. She's going to fire, but a little bit half-hearted. It will go down as DVC's 4th shot on goal and 6th shot overall of the game, but not a lot of danger in that one. Back to the spot here again, that home opener coming up at 3 p.m. as the goal kick is headed violently forward by Sierra Rosemont. Ella DeChoco on it as we are inside 8 minutes to go in this 2024 campaign. Miyazaki is going to be cleaned up here by the Modesto defender. Ball forward, not handled by the woman there, and it's going to be Callista Rubel who comes through, rumbling from the left side. Still on it, riding the challenge, nearing the edge of the 18, puts it onto her right boot, trying to get around Sienna Jones, and it will be the 12 in blue who finally arrests her progress. Rubel still stuck on, trying to take it away from her, slides in a little dangerously, and Jones ends up all the way over at the far sideline and finally brings it forward for Silva. We are getting a touch low on battery, and so I'm going to turn the camera off here. No, I'm not, because we've got an attack developing here, and if they score, I know you're going to want to see that. Carol Esquivias briefly fed up the middle, got through 2 defenders, cleaned up by the 3rd, and the ball cleared out here towards the near sideline. So a reminder just one more time here of what's coming up this weekend, volleyball, and nope, we're going to wait. Carol Esquivias fed. Centrally here looking for DeChoco. Cuts around a defender, tries to get it on her right, fires for the near post a little bit wide. And we will indeed remind you of what's coming up this weekend here in DVC Athletics. Volleyball finishing their season again on the road as we wrap this up against Sierra tonight. That starts off about an hour and 20 minutes from now. Tomorrow afternoon on City College of San Francisco's YouTube or Facebook, I can't recall which, you'll be able to watch DVC football against the Rams at 1 p.m., and then on the DVC Athletics YouTube, albeit without commentary, you'll be able to see the women taking on Cabrillo at 3, the men taking on Coalinga at 6. Men's water polo in action tomorrow for a NorCal semifinal. Don't know who that's against just yet. Women's water polo season has come to a close with their defeat And then cross country next week. Alan Solari, Alana Sevier lead the Vikings distance runners in Fresno for the state championships. Ella DeChoco receives the ball, trying to touch it through Jones. Good work there to hold it from Elena Rodriguez. Nice hold-up play there. DeChoco on it. Trujillo leaking out on the right side. Fed now. Has it on her boot. May have taken a touch from the 8. Indeed it did. Jalen Ruiz awards DVC their second corner kick.
Come on, DVC, score!
Just a few minutes left in this one here. Vikings looking for a little bit of joy at the end of what has been a challenging season. They've dealt with injury. They've dealt with the loss of their captain. They've dealt with a gauntlet in the Big 8 that looks set to send 6 teams to the NorCal playoffs. This one looping into the 18-yard box, popped up in front of Rosemont, still being battled for inside the 18. Let's see who gets to it first. It does look like it's going to be Modesto. And here's the ball cleared 2-on-2, but it's going to be Maila Hicks getting to it ahead of Ariana Diaz. Hicks forward to Rubel, center circle. Drop back to Mila. Mila under pressure from Facha. Here comes Ninkovic. Space there behind Facha after she sold out for that. Forward for Esquivias, outside of the boot for DeChoco. Thought about feeding Walden up the left side, now knocks it behind Esquivias, and that's going to give Sienna Jones a chance to step up and clear. Center circle. Battle developing between Diaz and Hicks. She'll work around to the right side and spray it towards the right flank. Long run, but Lola Facha able to keep it in. Ninkovic crosses over, gets a touch to it. Now puts her body between the ball and the number 4 in blue. Escorts that out. DVC throw-in to come from just shy of the quarter flag. Good stuff by Ninkovic. Throw in back to Esquivias. Carol working up the left side. Turns on the burners. Now tries to feed this up the left for DeChoco. Cleared from in front of her. And held in. Stayed in play here. Just enough curl on that. Rosemont trying to take a ball away here. It's going to come free in the center circle, trying to feed Diaz on a run right up the gut. Nothing doing. Lopez Real attacked by Renteria. Cleared from in front of her. Brought down nicely by Rodriguez. Drops it back for Trujillo. Tries to launch this one deep. Ends up over the head of Walden on a hop. Esquivias there to try and close it up. She blocks the attempted clearance, and she will be able to keep that in play as well. Looks to touch that around the arrival of the 21, Onate. Finds Hannah Walden. Walden coming up the left side from the 18. Fires and unable to get it on target. Vikings taking 8 shots today, getting 4 of them on frame. Modesto 14 shots, 8 of them on frame, 3 in the back of the net. Of course, those 3 all coming in the first 25 minutes. Bit of shock and awe from the Pirates today as we approach the final drops of this 2024 season. Ball taken away for a moment by Sofia Lopez Real. Tried to get off to a run on a diagonal from the right side of the midfield. Still trying to pressure the ball over at that far sideline. Clearance is only as far as Esquivias. Gattel cuts inside one defender. Brought to a stop. Holds possession though. Back to Rosemont. Sierra looking for someone to feed. Forward underneath the body of Rodriguez, but it's going to come free to Lopez Real. Here comes the cross in at the byline. Knocked down with the chest of a Modesto defender. Cleared as far as Trujillo. Unable to get it away, but Rosemont's going to try for a shot, but lost her plant foot as she released it. And that will be DVC's 5th shot on goal and 9th shot overall, but never really troubling Sarina Jaime. Our clock has come to a stop. Modesto's, if they're doing it right, should in about 5 seconds. As Isabella Gudino controls the ball at the far sideline for the Pirates. Ball liberated here, though, in the center circle. Claimed by Esquivias. Steps around one defender. Has Rodriguez running with her. Cottle is going to take a rip from distance. That is just wide. Looked like Jaime was briefly in 2 minds about whether to go after that one. So wondered if it was about to tuck itself in there and sound the alarms. Modesto's clock continues to tick and lets us know we are in the final minute of the 90. Of course, expecting to see a little bit of stoppage time added on by Mr. Angeles. We had the early 2-minute stoppage for the injury to Suhani Singh. Good news, she back in the game without any problems. Same deal with Mila Ninkovic. As Modesto claim a ball here in the center, it's the 19, Carly Silva. Forward here, Ninkovic closing. And she will protect that ball as it goes over the back line. Goal kick for DVC. And so when we hit the final whistle, I've got a few things to say, given that this will be our final broadcast of the season here. It might seem like a one-man operation sometimes, but it very much is not, as Hannah Walden tries to feed a ball forward for Alina. Reflected by the back line of Modesto. They have been very solid, and as we mentioned, Modesto Junior College will be watching that game against between Delta and Folsom later tonight very closely. If Delta lose in regulation, a chance to jump up to the 8th seed and earn themselves a bye into the second round of the NorCal 3C2A tournament. The only thing that could stop that would be West Valley Skyline having a victor. That game got started 15 minutes after ours. If that's a draw and Folsom win the title in regulation tonight, Modesto get that bye. And that is going to do it here for us. The match comes to a close here. It is 3-0, just as it was at the end of the first half. The goals coming from Roy Williams in the 4th minute, and then the brace in the span of 4 minutes by Corinne Jones in the 21st and the 25th. Her first 2 collegiate goals, and they may well have punched Modesto's ticket to the second round directly. Before we head out, a few things we need to do here, a bit of house cleaning, because, as I said, this does not happen by itself. This particular broadcast, we'll take a quick look here at the wrap this weekend at DVC, but that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was that. There we are. A few thank yous here. First, we'll start with Christine Worsley and Max Agress, some of the folks that are, of course, involved at the higher levels of this. Christine Worsley, our athletic director and dean of athletics. Max Agress, the fantastic commentator for DVC football and for basketball. I'll be looking forward to working with him starting January 11th on those calls. I appreciate him getting me schooled up on using some new equipment, troubleshooting the Huddle Focus, so we could actually bring you some solid visuals this season. Dave Hughes. Got to thank Dave Hughes and Concord Rock City for maintaining that great network of musicians that I've been drawing from for our halftime shows, giving you a little something different here on a local sports show. Feed you some interesting local artists. Jay Gima, Alex Laubin. So great to actually have a chance to work with commentators here. I've been a solo act for a good long while. Every now and again I get an ex-player in, but those two really kicked it up a notch during Big 8 play. And Alex, lovely to benefit from your expertise down the stretch of the conference season. Jason Butler, Annie Moore, all the other folks in the equipment staff, the managers, the game day managers for DVC, making sure everything is out and ready. I'm an incredibly busy guy. You have no idea how important it is to me to be able to show up and just know I don't have to worry about that part of it. Just start hooking up cords to other cords. You'll be good. A thank you to the folks on the road who have helped me out and hosted me, starting, of course, with David Vertman and Rob Gross, who were responsible today for making sure I was set up, but going all the way back to the game in Cabrillo, Mark Ramsey, Jose Bonilla, and Dina Nomikos from Skyline, Matt Folsom at West Valley, James Jagamazzi at Las Positas, Mark the Phantom Lowe, and Stones McCoy for having me on their broadcast with ARC, Colin Pergliasco over at CRC, Janice Herder and Jason Gant, who put up with 180 minutes of me over the course of the 2 games up at Sierra College, along with, of course, Willie Preston. Much appreciated being willing to have me aboard. Turning our attention to the team itself, Tino Takuba, Marjan Haydari, Alicia Palma, our fantastic assistant coaches. I appreciate the warm welcomes. I appreciate the chats here and there about what's going on this season. Sam Lubicic, media maven and constant source of fun ideas, welcomer of collaboration. It's been a real joy to show you a few of the things she's been putting together on the last handful of broadcasts, the Halloween stuff, the videos from the PK win, all fantastic stuff. Made me feel like I was right there in the middle of it, even though I didn't get to call that one. Colleen Mullins, goes without saying, one of my favorite people on this entire campus, and among other things, thanks for letting me crash at your place when we have those long road trips and I have to be up at 6 in the morning on Wednesday. It is a lot easier than going all the way down to Hayward and back. You're a peach. Again, one of my favorite people on this campus. And of course, To all of you, your representatives in the chat I've listed here, Dee Dee Davis, Mike Chizar, Milan Ninkovic, Billy T, and at least one other Trujillo who has their name abbreviated, Dominic Figueroa, Rick Kaiser, Kristen Lee, John Kim, Frisbee Rodas, Benny Fitz, my mom, and of course Brendan Bush, who I learned today calls me his friend when he tunes in. And hey, anybody who's this loyal to their team, to their girlfriend, and to this broadcast, you're a buddy in my book. Brendan Bush, thank you. And all of you who have tuned in all season long. 2025 looks really bright. We hope you'll be back here for it on DVC Vikings Live. Until then, this is Joe Hickey wishing you a holiday season chock full of good cheer and dreams of green. Signing off for 2024. So long, folks.